everyone. This week you're going to be submitting the outline for your paper as well as the first 3 pages of your draft. Um, when we are looking for an outline, what we're really looking for is to see what the structure of your paper is going to be. How are you going to take your thesis and build towards your eventual conclusion? So how are you supporting your thesis? How are you building your paper from scratch? I want to see all the bits and pieces that are going to be involved, the resources that you're using. I need direct citations. So you want to cite each one of the sources that you're going to be using for each one of the sections. There's a few ways that we can use an outline, and it really depends on what works the best for you. We can use a standard outline that we're all pretty familiar seeing with the Roman numerals, where you start with the introduction, then the next section is the body, so the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, etc., etc. You can do it that way. Here's another example where you go in to each section. So the introduction, this person did background, your major points, and just work your way down until you get to your conclusion. If you note here, they're citing their sources. This is not something to forget, because what ends up happening if you're not citing your sources throughout, when you're building your paper, when you're writing your notes and you're doing your drafts and even doing the outline, you're going to forget. You're going to forget which sources went where. And then you've got to dig all the way back through all the many resources that you have and figure out where that information was. So make sure that you're citing your sources. Another little tip that I'll give you after doing many research papers in my past is, when you save an article or you save a source, save it with at least the first author's last name, the year, and then some small bit of information that's going to help you remember what that paper was about. So if you downloaded a paper that talked about the use of social networking in online gaming, you type in the author's last name, so you'd say like Deverin 2010 social networking gaming. And that way, when you go back through into your files, you're going to be able to find it quickly. And this goes back to this point again, where you need to be able to find your sources quickly. And if you're not putting them in your outline and you're not putting them in your draft and you're not writing it in your notes where those sources are coming from, you're going to be in big trouble at the end when you're trying to pull it back together. So it's much easier to do it from the get-go. So again, here's just another example of a type of outline. But I also want to let you know that you don't have to just do it in this type of way. If this is not a way that you find beneficial, you can do it in a more visual way. You can do a mind map sort of format. And that is just, a visual web. So you start with a main idea here, and you have some of your big points coming off directly off there, and then the sub points coming off of that. So if you're going to do an outline in this type of way, again, you're going to put the sources that relate to each one of these components, each one of these webs that's coming off. Just want to draw your attention, this is in the reading section, but you can there's programs that will help you develop outlines. And this particular one will help you develop a visual web, a mind map, and you just start by typing an idea. Then you can put the source, Thompson 2010 gaming and web, and then you can have ones that come right off the end. So you can put, Farmville, and you can just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. What's nice about this particular one is that you can just keep going in every direction, adding as you go along. And then save it or print it, however you want. So you can, handwrite any notes that you want as well. I find this, pretty easy to use. You don't have to use something like this, but it's just an option. So just to reiterate, please make sure that you're putting your sources in some sort of order. You're keeping track of where you're going. You're putting the sources in when you're writing your notes, putting the sources in when you're writing your draft. I can't emphasize that enough, how difficult it'll be at the end if you're trying to find out where you got this specific piece of information if you haven't been doing it all along. Okay? All right, well, good luck, and I look forward to seeing your outlines as well as the first 3 pages of your paper. So that's going to be your first draft, first 3 pages of your draft. Okay, have a great week.